Hello YouTube and welcome to today's video. In today's video I am gonna be explaining a first strike Kha Zix build that I have been seeing and playing with myself a little bit, and basically give my opinion on it, and yeah, basically just break it down and tell you what the entire build is. So the guy who did go this first strike setup is in my Twitch streams. His name is Gurklis. He hit Challenger for the first time in Season 12, and he has a 66% win rate currently on Kha Zix in Challenger on E-West, and he is playing First Strike Kha Zix. He said that he came up with this build throughout watching Selfmade play, and then make it a little bit of his own variations. So recently he started swapping sorcery in for secondary, but at first he started doing domination, which is what I was also running. So let's just find a game where he has a bunch of items. So this one. There we go. So let's start with the rune page. So for the rune page, he goes first strike, of course, as his keystone. Then he goes for boots as his secondary rune. Reason being that Hex Flash on Kha Zix is bad, and Stopwatch is only gonna be good if you are absolutely sure that you'll buy Guardian Angel, but typically Guardian Angel will be your 4th item. Therefore, boots is just the best option. Futures market so that we can play around tempo and get Sereda Dirk from folklering every single time, and already have a power spike on our first spec at minute 4. And then Cosmic Insight, because we are playing with a bunch of active items such as Prowlers Claw and also sometimes Ghostblade. And with that we'll just get our items up a bit faster. And then secondary, he goes Domination, where he goes Sudden Impact, because Kha Zix can really easily proc Sudden Impact with his R and his E. And then he actually goes for Relentless now, but I actually recommend going Ingenious Hunter, just so you reduce the cooldown on your abilities, so that you can get your Prowlers up and your Ghostblade up more often, and use the active items more often, combined with Cosmic Insight. But he starts going Relentless Hunter. You can try that out. It's not personally what I've been doing, but it is just for more pressure all over the map. Then in terms of evolves, he does QWE here, but when he just started off with this, I know he started with RWE. Let's see if I can find a game where he does RWE. Oh, he does QW now. He started off doing RWE at first, and then he recently swapped to doing QWE. Now, I have not tried QWE personally, not with First Strike and not with Prowlers. But RWE with this setup with First Strike is what I've been running. So as you can see, I played my placements on a Season 11 D1 account, and I won 8 games with Kha Zix. And the setup that I was running is this one right here. So as you see, Ingenious Hunter right here, and then the rune page besides that is the same. Why does it say Q? I think it's bugged right now. OPDG might be bugged because, yeah, okay, it is just bugged. This is basically ulti, so I'm assuming that that's just the OP.GG being bugged. So Gurklis also does the same, but OP.GG is just bugged right now. So we evolve R first, then W, and then E. This is typically known as the higher elo Kha Zix strategy, because in low elo, people don't understand what Kha Zix Isolation does, therefore Q is really, really broken. But in high elo, they do understand it, so they know that they just need to group up to remove the isolation damage, and then that basically removes the entire point of evolving Q on Kha Zix. Therefore, people start with R evolve for better ganks and skirmish fights, and also for the R plus Prowler combo. And then in terms of boots, then we go CDR boots, again to reduce the cooldown of our active items, Prowlers and Ghostblade. I have seen people run Swiftness and otherwise just defensive boots, but with this specific combo, I really like to go these boots with these items, especially with Cosmic Insight and Ingenious Hunter. It just makes everything feel really, really smooth together. Then I go Ghost Blade, typically as the second item, unless if there's something specific I need to get, like Executioners against healing, Serpent's Fang against shields, stuff like that. Hex Shrinker against AP. And then you see Serpent's Fang, and then you see Cyrilus Grots. Typically Cyrilus Grots is third item, but because I'm playing against a very specific team comp here, where they have Shield Bow on Samira and Shield Bow on Vayne, and a really high healing, then I need to get these two items first, and then Cyrilus Grots. So yeah, that's basically the setup that I've been running with. Slightly different from Gurklis, but yeah. And then he recently started doing Sorcery Secondary, which I have not tested out personally myself. I might try it out throughout the next few days just to see how it feels. But I'm assuming that it is Absolute Focus and Gathering Storm or Water Walking. In Sorcery that he's going, yeah, it's just full scaling here. So here he just goes for maximum AD, so that he scales insanely well, so that he basically just doesn't fall off playing Kha Zix. So my opinion generally on First Strike. So it used to be the fact that I really liked the Keystone in easy matchups, meaning that it was very situational. And to some extent, I still agree in the fact that if you're in a difficult matchup, it's better to go Domination rather than First Strike, just because the matchup is already tough and First Strike does not give you as much damage as Electrocute, for example. Therefore, I think that Electrocute would be better in a bad matchup or an even matchup, whereas in an easy matchup, I like First Strike. But I see ways that you can get away with going First Strike every single game just by focusing a lot on ganking and playing really well around tempo with having access to Futures Market and getting that Serrated Dirk on first back. You can get away with it, but it's of course not ideal. It's not optimal to play like this, but you can get away with it. So I have slightly changed my view on First Strike after trying it out myself, and I will also be trying this page right here just for full scaling and see how that feels. But yeah, basically the setup looks like this. Room page, evolve order RWE, and then the build. Prowlers first, CDR boots, Ghost Blade, and then typically Cyrilus Grots as a third item. But of course, always depends on enemy team comp. But yeah, that's basically First Strike Kha Zix and my opinion on it. If you have any questions regarding First Strike Kha Zix, then let me know in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed the video, then feel free to like. And if you want to see more content, then feel free to subscribe, because it helps out my channel quite a bit. And then I hope to see you guys in my next YouTube video or on my next live stream on Twitch. And then the last thing I want to say is just thank you for watching and have a nice day. See you guys.